Things not to do on your scooter. Number 1, don't leave the cheap stock CVT belt on the bike when you buy it. This is what happens when you leave the cheap stock CVT belt on the bike and you open up this cover right here. That's what it looks like, and you can never get the number off of it, so you can buy a new belt and you have no idea what size it is. Don't let that happen. Take the belt out as soon as you buy a scooter and check it out. Make sure it looks in good condition, it's not damaged or anything. And also write down the number on the belt. There's 3 sets of numbers. Write them down and then go online and order a Kevlar version of that belt. The Kevlar version will last a long time, and when they do break, they usually don't break like this, and you're still able to see the number. The second thing you never want to do on a scooter, do not let the exhaust pipe rust out. You want to constantly go over this pipe, sand it down, and repaint it with high temperature paint. That's for exhaust. Here there's already some rust starting, because you don't want to have to spend $30 to keep buying a new pipe, because they will rust out, and they have rusted out several times on this bike and split right in this area. And when that happens, the bike gets really loud. Number 3, don't drive short distances. It will kill the battery, or if you have no choice, get a battery charger, because short distances are not enough time for the battery to be recharged properly, so eventually the battery will be dead and you will not be able to start your bike with the battery, because each time you start it, there's not enough time to recharge it. You need to drive the bike at least 10 miles back and forth, so 20 miles total, to get enough time to charge the battery. Otherwise, you want to keep a voltmeter handy and check the voltage on the battery and put it on a charger at your house to prolong the life of the battery. Because if you keep it in here and you keep killing it and then kick-starting the bike to try to recharge the battery as you drive it, it's going to severely shorten the life of the battery. Number 4, change the motor oil often. These bikes do not have oil filters, and they get very hot because they're air cooled. They don't stay as cool as regular cars do because they have the radiator and all that stuff. And the heat breaks down the oil even faster. So if you drive your scooter a lot, you should change the oil once a month. Number 5, if your bike has been sitting for a while and it won't start, do not keep cranking and cranking and cranking the starter motor. You'll burn out the starter motor, and you can wear out the starter clutch or the Bendix gear, depending on if you have a 50 or a 150cc bike. The trick is, when that happens because the fuel in the carburetor bowl evaporates, so there's no fuel in there to start the engine, because you have this stupid vacuum activated valve right here, and the only way that works is if the engine is on. It creates a vacuum and opens it up and lets the fuel flow and fill up the carburetor bowl. But the problem is the bike will not start, so you have to keep cranking and cranking to get it in there, and that's very bad, like I said, for the starter motor, the starter clutch, and the Bendix gear. It will wear them out faster. You don't want to have to deal with that stuff. What I did here on my bike, I got a manual fuel shut-off switch. You can turn it off and on whenever you want. I leave it on so that way there's always fuel in the carburetor. Doesn't matter how long the bike sits, a little bit of fuel will be lost because it'll evaporate, but I don't care about that. It's a lot easier to get the bike started this way. There'll always be fuel in there. As it evaporates, more fuel will just go in and fill in the bowl. When you leave your bike parked for a long time and you're not going to use it, Don't use the kickstand. Use the center stand. Gives the bike more stability in case there's wind or something, so there's no risk of it getting knocked over. Number 7. Do not neglect the rear brake. Make sure that you tighten this nut down as the brake pads wear. Otherwise, you won't have any braking in the rear wheel on your bike if you have a drum brake in the back. Very important that you keep adjusting this as the pads wear. Number 8. Never put too much weight in the trunk on your bike if you have a trunk. Don't put more than 15 pounds in the trunk on your bike because it will throw off the balance on the bike, and that can be dangerous. That's it for things not to do on your scooter. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell.